Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to the conversation. So let's get into today's topic. Today we're going to be talking about the real reason Skip Bayless is now becoming a Kawhi Leonard supporter. So that's what I want to get into this video. I'm sure some of you, as soon as you saw the title, you started cracking up. But all of you guys know the story of Skip Bayless and Kawhi Leonard. For those of you who don't know, let me just give you a quick backstory. Skip Bayless, for as long as I've been watching basketball and I've been watching him talk on TV, he has been an avid San Antonio Spurs fan. He's all about, the Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili. He's even said Manu Ginobili is one of the greatest players of all time. He loves, what the Spurs have been doing. I mean, obviously the Spurs are no fluff, but for whatever reason, that's his team. And he's always supported the Spurs. So that's the first part of this story. What's the second part? The second part is when LeBron James came into the league. I remember when LeBron James was a rookie and Skip Bayless used to give his opinion on LeBron. I think on the first show it was called Cold Pizza or something like that before it was turned into First Take. From what I saw from him, I think that he was impressed with LeBron's talent, but he was not impressed with his intangibles. And I think Skip Bayless was a bit threatened that a lot of people were saying that LeBron was the next Michael Jordan. Why? Because Skip Bayless covered the Bulls, especially in the second leg of their three-peat, and he got to see Michael Jordan up close. And he would always say that he had never seen a greater competitor and a greater winner in the history of sports. We're not even talking about basketball. He thinks Michael Jordan is the greatest competitor in all of sports worldwide, and that's Skip Bayless's opinion. Obviously, you can make a case for that being so, but many people have always accused him that he's a huge Jordan fan, something that he doesn't apologize for. And if you watch him on his TV show, even if you follow him on Instagram, go look at Skip Bayless on Instagram. Every single show, he takes a picture in Jordans and he always writes the same caption: "I can't lose in these shoes," or something like this, every single time. And just because he's such a huge MJ fan. Now, for those of you watching this video saying, "You see, he's a fanboy," well, hold up. Okay, most people that support Michael Jordan support are on the right side of history, so to speak, because you're supporting the greatest player, somebody that went 6-0 in the finals, has 6 finals MVPs, has 10 scoring titles, won on the collegiate level, has a defensive player of the year, hit probably one of the most iconic basketball shots in the history of the NBA. So to be a Michael Jordan supporter, you're not in the minority. Let's say you're in the majority. So you're in good company if you support MJ and you think that MJ is the best basketball player of all time. And I do too, by the way. I think Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time. That being said, what happened was, now with LeBron coming in and him proclaiming himself as a chosen one, he was now looking at this dude like, okay, hold up. You're comparing yourself to MJ, the greatest basketball player of all time. Let me see what you got. And to be honest with you guys, when LeBron came in, yeah, he lived up to the hype, but he wasn't Michael Jordan. I mean, let's be honest. Now, some of you guys watching this video may say, hold up, you hating. Hold up. I've seen LeBron get swept in the finals. I've never seen Michael Jordan get swept in the hell, I've never even seen Michael Jordan go to a game 7. Now, this is not a LeBron bashing video. I'm trying to give you guys the backstory because remember, we're trying to get to the reason why he supports Kawhi Leonard. So, he was never really a big fan of LeBron, and he actually first guessed it when he said that when LeBron was going to make his decision. Skip Bayless first guessed it and said that LeBron is going to go to Miami because he's going to go play with Dwayne Wade because he needs Dwayne Wade to help him, to teach him how to win. He said it. The video is out there. You guys can go look for it. And it turned out to be true. Now, I'm not saying he's Nostradamus or someone like this, but just to show you how much he psychoanalyzed LeBron. That's how much Skip Bayless did it. Now, as I said, he's always been a huge San Antonio Spurs fan, and it was the Spurs that swept LeBron in his first finals appearance. Now, granted, it was his first time in the finals, so I mean, what are you going to do with it? I mean, what are you going to really hold against the guy? And if you go back and look at the team that he had, it's quite understandable. He was going against Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers, at least at the time. So it's understandable. Needless to say, it did happen. And it was another thing that Skip Bayless can sit back and say, that would never happen to MJ. Now, MJ got beat up a lot before he got Scottie Pippen. And an argument can be made that LeBron wasn't playing with any Scottie Pippen. So what did you expect to happen? But nevertheless, I mean, now we're cherry picking because, we can make arguments on both sides. But needless to say, I'm sure he had a lot of ammunition in his proverbial gun, so to speak. So then Kawhi Leonard came up in San Antonio, and the Spurs went up against the Miami Heat, and they ended up losing to them, but they ended up beating them in the finals. I think it was in 2011, and Kawhi Leonard was named the Finals MVP for the defense that he played on LeBron. Now, granted, LeBron still put up good numbers, but Kawhi did the best that any humanly possible that anyone could against LeBron. So at the time, Kawhi was known as a defensive specialist. So Skip Bayless is, being a San Antonio Spurs fan, saying, he was really, really proud of the fact that he had, Kawhi Leonard, win the Finals MVP and watch LeBron go down. So what happened? As time began to go on, Kawhi Leonard's offense started catching up with his defense, and he started becoming, a lot of people started considering him to be the best two-way player in all of basketball, which made Skip Bayless feel even better. But what happened? About 3 years ago, Kawhi Leonard was playing against, the San Antonio Spurs were playing against the Golden State Warriors in Game 1 in the Western Conference Finals, I believe it was, and Kawhi Leonard got injured, going up for a three-point attempt and landing on Zaza Pachulia's foot, twisting his ankle, and he was out for that series, and they ended up getting swept. And I think the Spurs went to the Golden State Warriors went to the finals, but Kawhi Leonard was playing sensational throughout the playoffs that time, and they actually had like a 20-point lead on the Golden State Warriors in that Game 1. And Skip Bayless always said that he believed that the Spurs would have won that series. Needless to say, it didn't happen. So Kawhi Leonard came back the following year, and the following year he only played 25 games. And then that's when things started to turn. And Skip Bayless was just like, hold up, what's happening with this dude? First he's saying he had an ankle issue. Now he's saying something about a thigh bruise or something. Whatever the case was, I don't remember the details of his injury. Needless to say, after a certain point, Skip Bayless was saying that, listen, the San Antonio Spurs have the most conservative medical staff in all of basketball, probably in all of sports, according to him at least. So there's no way that they're rushing him back. And there was this big fallout between the Spurs and Kawhi Leonard, and he ended up not playing. And Skip Bayless basically said that Kawhi Leonard faked that injury, and he decided he did not want to be in San Antonio for a plethora of reasons that I'm not going to get into in this video because that's not the crux of what I'm trying to get to. Needless to say, Skip Bayless and the love fest between Skip Bayless and Kawhi Leonard ended that year. And when Kawhi was then traded to the Toronto Raptors, Skip Bayless was just like, he's a fraud. He can't be trusted. He faked his injury, blah, 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 blah. We're not going to miss him and all of this. And he said he wasn't a closer and all of these different things. But deep down in his heart, Skip Bayless always knew that Kawhi Leonard was a great player. And he exhibited that the first year he got traded away. He went to a different team, a contending team in the Eastern Conference with the Toronto Raptors, led that team through the playoffs and won the championship with a brand new team after they transplanted that team with DeMar DeRozan sending him to the Spurs. And he was like, yeah, the Spurs are going to do good. But deep down in his heart, he knew that DeMar DeRozan was not Kawhi Leonard. Had he been Kawhi Leonard, the Toronto Raptors would have been able to get over the hump and actually make it to the finals, and at least contend and be able to say we at least made it to the finals with DeMar DeRozan spearheading that offense. But that didn't happen. Kawhi Leonard went on to win the championship, and he said when he hit that shot over the Philadelphia 76ers, he said that was the luckiest shot in NBA playoff history. Now, the funniest thing was, at this point, Shannon Sharpe was always defending Kawhi, saying, Skip, he would never fake his injury. Why would he fake his injury? And Shannon Sharpe is an athlete, so he's most likely going to, go with what the athlete's saying. He said, you don't know the guy's body. He's not faking an injury, blah, 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 blah. So what happened? What caused him to change? Well, then going into the summer, Skip Bayless still was not a Kawhi Leonard fan. But then there were a lot of rumblings in free agency saying that that Kawhi Leonard could potentially go to the Clippers or the Lakers. And Skip Bayless said on Undisputed, he said, Kawhi Leonard, I dare you to go to the Los Angeles Clippers and go compete against LeBron instead of playing with LeBron. Well, Kawhi Leonard decided to go compete against LeBron and sign with the Clippers, and then also bring along Paul George with him. And I think in that one move, I think the real reason that Skip Bayless ended up showing up to work, one day, I think it was on Halloween, wearing a Kawhi Leonard jersey and his New Balance sneakers, debuting these like pink or purple, these rose-colored New Balances that Shannon Sharpe was making fun of him about. I think the real reason he became a Kawhi Leonard supporter is because he found someone else that could go against LeBron. I don't think that he necessarily is a huge Kawhi Leonard fan. Instead, I think he looks at Kawhi Leonard as a vehicle, as someone that can stop LeBron and stop him from getting titles. I think Skip Bayless doesn't like LeBron to that point that he would renege on his original opinion on Kawhi to jump back on the Kawhi Leonard bandwagon, just because Kawhi Leonard now poses a real threat to LeBron. So somehow, some way, it comes all the way back to LeBron, and I think that's the real reason that Skip Bayless jumped back on the Kawhi Leonard bandwagon, is because now he believes Kawhi can stop LeBron from ever winning another title, and therefore closing the MJ debate, which he already thought was closed to begin with, but this time to put the final nail in the coffin and to say LeBron will never, ever win an NBA championship again. Now, guys, I can go on and talk about this for the next 20 minutes, but I'm not going to do that. But what I want to know from you guys is, do you agree with me that the real reason Skip Bayless is becoming a Kawhi Leonard fan is because he believes that Kawhi Leonard can actually stop LeBron, or do you think it's for some other reason? If you think it's for another reason, please let me know why you think so in the comment section below. At least give me your reason, because I could be wrong. I'm not saying I have all the answers, guys. Some of you may have the answer out there. So leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. I really want to know what you guys think about this. Again, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to be notified when all of our newest and hottest content comes out. Once again, this is Charles here from DreamersPro, wishing you guys an amazing day. Peace.